Imagine cheating on these beautiful wives and girlfriends. Well, these 12 NFL players just did that. At number 12, Desmond Briscoe. If you're gonna cheat, one of the cardinal rules is don't leave a paper trail. Or in this case, a former Tampa Bay receiver, Desmond Briscoe, don't leave an electronic paper trail. Learn to delete. It seems that for Briscoe, his relationship with basketball wives star, she's Dwight Howard's baby mama, Roy Sweden, just wasn't enough. He apparently needs something a little familiar to keep him fulfilled. And by familiar, we mean the mother of his baby. Turns out that Briscoe had been engaging in some inappropriate conversations with his baby mama, and Royce found out about it. She blew them both up on Twitter, posting portions of the heated text messages and put them both on blast in a very public way.
Know you been getting played out all your life, you poop, boy. Tupac told you first, I ain't no killer, but don't push me, boy. So don't push me.
Number 11, Chris Johnson. The man formerly known as CJ2K hasn't looked like himself in recent seasons. For a while there, you really thought he had shot of beating Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing yard record, especially back in 2009 when he topped 2,000 yards for the year. But being slick and smooth on the field isn't all that CJ2K is known for anymore. He's also known for having a house in Florida that was only used for having a place to take women, whom you weren't involved with. For some interesting time, according to the Orlando Sentinel, the anonymous hotel house was used so that people like Johnson could step out of their significant others in a very non-public way, and that the media would not catch wind of it. The only reason Johnson's house came to light was because there was a burglary at that house, and one of the gang members doing the burglaring fired a gun. The bullet had happened to hit a 15-year-old girl who was passing by in a car with their parents in the head. She survived but is severely brain damaged now. Though Johnson had nothing to do with the robbery or the shooting, it exposed his love nest all the same.
Straight about the trenches, had to squeeze that bitch one time, me and all my niggas. We was young.
Number 10, Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall makes the list simply because he was partners in the House of Hosts scheme with Chris Johnson. Though Marshall and Johnson aren't the only pro athletes to use the house, they're among the more high-profile ones. The sex house that Marshall and Johnson set up isn't anything new or particularly groundbreaking. If you remember those Dallas Cowboy teams in the 1990s, they were flying high, and not just because they were winning Super Bowls. The infamous White House some of the Cowboy players owned was a house that they partied, drank, did drugs, and did inappropriate things with women other than their wives. Number 9, Steve McNair. The story of McNair's infidelity is one that had a very tragic ending and should serve as a cautionary tale, sadly though, most disregarded. In the months prior to McNair's death, it became an extramarital relationship with the 20-year-old Sahel Kazemi. For McNair, it was likely just another fling. For Kazemi, it was apparently something much deeper. She was reportedly stressed out by her own financial problems, something McNair had been helping with, and desperate to have McNair all to herself, according to CBS News. McNair obviously cared for her in his own way, but he did not appear to care for her enough to end his own marriage for her. Perhaps finally coming to that realization, Kazemi enticed McNair to a condo he rented in downtown Nashville, a place they would often get together. It was there that she shot McNair twice in the body and twice in the head before turning the gun on herself. Their bodies were discovered a pair of McNair's friends. It's a tragic story and one that shocked the world of football.
I ain't know how to fucking listen, so pay attention. Hopefully I get to teach you different. All you young niggas wild until you.
Number 8, Reggie Bush. Fans of USC football probably weren't too surprised that Reggie Bush found himself in hot water for cheating. After all, it was his breaking the rules while in college that forced USC to suffer through several years of sanctions and penalties. But when it comes to the matter of the heart, Bush is apparently no more ethical than he was while in college. Not that it's surprising, of course, given that he cheated on reality show Kim Kardashian, some folks might be willing to cut Bush a little slack. According to a report, Bush met a blonde beauty named January Gissert, who was a waitress at a club called Red Rock. Apparently, table service means something completely different to Gissert, who is seen leaving Bush's home around 7 in the next morning. Bush and Kardashian broke up shortly after that. Little nugget of news broke. All we can say is that Bush dodged a huge bullet in not getting entangled with that group of people. Number 7, Antonio Cromartie. Infidelity isn't funny, of course, but when it comes to Jets cornerback Antonio Cromartie, you almost have to laugh. You laugh mainly because Cromartie has absolutely no clue how many kids he even has. Cromartie has been incredibly busy spreading his speed and making sure that his family line never dies out. In fact, he has 12 children. Though on an episode of HBO's Hard Knocks, he struggled to name them all, and that was only when he had 10. Cromartie has 4 children with his wife, Tarika Kaysen, and 8 others by 7 other women, according to Heavy.com. And given that some of those kids are just about the same age, it's pretty obvious there was some extracurricular activity going on. It's a good thing he's a pro football player and earning a lot of money. With that many kids, he's gonna need it. Of course, Cromartie can't play forever though.
Gotta be ready to fight that. Blood ties with my niggas. I got shot with Project. Molly, he was with me too, but we did dirt on top of that.
Number 6, Frank Gifford. Gifford's philandering can almost be a punchline, as his affinity for flight attendants, but that trust with Stewie wasn't the only case of cheating that his longtime wife Kathy Lee had to endure over the course of nearly 30 years of marriage to former NFL great Frank Gifford. Perhaps the most famous case of adultery in Gifford's playbook came in 1970 when the wife of television icon Johnny Carson. In a tell-all book, Carson's longtime attorney, Henry Bushkin, wrote that he accompanied a private investigator in Carson to an apartment that his wife, Joanne, had rented in secret. They broke broke into the apartment in the middle of the night and found that Carson's wife had indeed been using it as a love nest, and that her paramour was none other than Frank Gifford. Bushkin wrote later on that he'd had a good cry about it. He responded as only Carson could. At a bar several drinks in, Carson joked, "Gifford plays 3 positions on the field. I could only get Joanne to go for 1 or 2. I think they'll use that in tomorrow's monologue." Number 5, Brett Favre. For a time, Brett Favre was one of the most beloved figures in pro football. Then, with his on-again, off-again retirement announcements, he became one of the most annoying. Favre was a great quarterback with the gunslinger attitude that so many people are drawn to. He played every game with gusto and won quite a few of them. Of course, he also threw a lot of interceptions and lost as well. But people are so busy dissecting the numbers and debating his worthiness to be inducted into canon, they tend to forget about the fact that he's also kind of a dog. In fact, he's a pretty big dog, actually. As a quarterback for the Jets back in 2008, Favre got himself into quite a bit of trouble by sending off some rather salacious pictures to one of the Jets game day hostesses, Jen Sturger. Yes, that's right, Brett Favre, though she apparently didn't ask for them, thought it would be a good idea to send Sturger pictures of his junk as well as some racy text messages. When the news of this broke, 2 more massage therapists came forward to say that they too had received unwanted texts like the one Sturger received, according to the Daily Mail. All while his wife was recovering from her battle with breast cancer. Keep it classy, Brett.
Gang, you know how we run. In clubs, am I not? At shows, am I not? Iced up, am I not?
Number 4, Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber is never beloved as a player when he started for the New York Giants. To many, he always seemed to come across as too smug or too arrogant. Well, his actions post-football career have only furthered that perception and even made more people think that he's an A-grade scumbag. Like many pro athletes who need something to do when their playing days are done, Tiki Barber jumped into the media, joining the Today Show on NBC as a correspondent in various other projects. While he's at the Today Show though, Barber met a 23-year-old NBC intern by the name of Tracy Lynn Johnson. Even though his wife of 11 years, Jenny, was at home pregnant with twins, Tiki opted to spike his relationship in favor of a relationship with a young, attractive blonde, according to the New York Post. The backlash was swift and merciless, as it should be. What's ironic is that in his memoir, Barber wrote an example he wanted to set for his children. "I want to be an honorable man because that's what I want them both to be. My family is everything to me." Clearly, he fell way short in that department. Honorable man, he is not. Number 3, Hank Baskett. When news broke that Hank Baskett had been found to be cheating on his wife, former Playboy playmate Kendra Wilkinson, people were shocked. When they found out that he had cheated on his former playmate wife with a transsexual model named Ava Sabrina London, according to the National Enquirer, heads exploded around the country, with perhaps the biggest explosion coming from Wilkinson herself. Baskett has gone to the FBI, claimed that London illegally recorded their interactions, and extorted him to keep details about their relationship quiet. Though Baskett still denies anything happened other than him hanging out with London, can't help but get the feeling there's way more to the story. As for his relationship with Wilkinson, they appear to be working through it and doing their best to come together as a family again. And conveniently enough, we can watch it all play out on their new reality television series.
Back to blacks, we like the mini bar. Line of shots, keep one up, tossing a bit to any car.
Number 2, DeMarco Murray. We'd hope that you could trust a good friend and a longtime teammate around your wife or girlfriend. Apparently though, that wasn't the case for running back Brendan Clay and superstar running back DeMarco Murray. As Clay scraped around the league, trying to catch on somewhere, his wife, Gina D'Agostini, was carrying on an affair with former college and Dallas teammate Murray, according to Gawker.com. Clay discovered a series of text messages that were explicit to say the least, and found that D'Agostini had tried to hide the fact that she was engaging with Murray by labeling him a spray tan in her phone contacts list. Nice cover there. Clay put them both on blast on his own Twitter account, posting screen caps of text conversations in which Murray and D'Agostini were discussing in her house that they'd be doing the deed. Spoiler alert, it was DeMarco's apparent dream to nail D'Agostini in the bed she shared with Clay, because that's not weird or anything. Number 1, Tom Brady. Apparently, Tom Brady doesn't do all of his cheating on the field. He allegedly does it off the field too, though we don't think this cheating scandal had anything to do with underinflated balls. In 2006, Brady left his pregnant girlfriend, Bridget Moynihan, after more than 3 years together. Days after he left Moynihan, Brady confirmed his relationship with supermodel Gisele Bundchen, and they say they'd been dating since sometimes before Christmas, according to Bleacher Report. Sounds pretty vague, doesn't it? Sounds about as vague as the Wells report that Patriots fans are crying foul about right now, actually. But touchdown Tommy's cheating in this case didn't have any impact on the integrity of the game. It only called his own into question. Well, what do you guys think about the video? Which NFL player was the most shocking to find out that they were a cheater? Let us know in the comments section down below. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Tip Top Sports, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss another video. Once again, thank you for watching, and we will see you all in our next video.